Here we want to multiply these two fractions. Of course, we see that there are some things that we can reduce, right? Like 4 and 8, we see some r's here that are common and some t's. So probably let's reduce first. We can divide diagonally, so excuse me. So here we're going to divide the 4's out first, so 4 or the 4 and the 8. So 4 divided by 4 we get 1, 8 divided by 4 we get 2. Now with the r's, we have 9 r's here, 13 here, so all 9 of these will cancel out with 9 of these, leaving 4 of them behind, right? So you get r to the 4th there. And then the t's, all 2 of these, right, are going to cancel with 2 of these, leaving 3 of those. And then now we can just multiply straight across. So we're left with 1 times t cubed, so that's just t cubed, the 3rd. And in the bottom, 1 times 2 is 2, and then r to the 4th. And that will be your final answer there. Now you can only do this if you have this case. Notice that these were originally monomials, right? Single terms. So when you have single terms, that's when you start canceling right away. But if we have more than one term, like as in the next example, you don't just start canceling things like crazy, right? You don't just cancel, oh, okay, I don't know, I'll cancel. Yeah, you don't want to multiply this as 8 and 8 and, you know, I don't know, 7 and 8 and 7. You don't want to start breaking things up that way. So here's what you're going to do. So for the k here, there's nothing you can do with that. So just leave it as is. We're going to factor everything first, then reduce. So the k, we can't factor that any other way. Just write that again. Now, how about for its denominator? Right, so GCF of that would be 7. So you take the 7 out. So 7 times k plus 8. Right? Now, for the second fraction, no, don't. I'm just going to review one more thing, one last thing. Oh, I think we actually reviewed this, but there are 2 terms, right? Well, GCF is of this would be 1, right? To begin with. Everything in blue here is extra notes. So you don't actually have to write that on a test. Now, there are only 2 terms, so it must be one of the special ones, right? And we see squares, so probably a difference of squares, right? So k squared is k to the 2nd, and 64 is 8 to the 2nd. So we apply our difference of squares formula. So that's going to factor as k minus 8, k plus 8. And for the 8k to the 3rd, that's a monomial, so we don't need to do anything with that. So that one we just transfer over. Now we can go through it and start canceling diagonally or up and down. So here we can cancel the k plus 8s. And then we can cancel the 1k here with one of the k's here, leaving k to the 2nd. And then that's it. So now we can just multiply straight across. So in the numerator, we're going to have k minus 8 because 1 times k minus 8 is just k minus 8. And then in the denominator, we have 7 times 8 first, don't forget. So 7 times 8, so that's going to be 56, k to the 2nd, right, k squared. Okay? All right.